Hey y'all, and welcome to episode 3 of LOL. I have a couple questions I wanted to bring to the table before we dig into today's topic. Has dating become too casual? Ideally, dating is the process of seeing if somebody is a good fit to be in a committed, devoted relationship. I want to clarify that doesn't mean that dating needs to be taken super serious. It just means that people need to be honest about their intentions when opening up to you. I think dating becomes unhealthy when we want the benefits of being in a committed relationship without actually being committed and having those labels attached. My second question is, are people losing social skills when it comes to dating? Technology and social media as a whole is not the issue. I think avoidance is the issue. When people don't want to communicate in relationships, they tend to ghost people, and that's where ghosting culture comes from. What's the difference between confidence and entitlement? A confident person can handle rejection because their worth isn't determined by another person's opinion. On the other hand, an entitled person believes that they deserve someone's affection, attention, and relationship. Confidence is secure while entitlement is demanding. Confidence comes from identity. Entitlement comes from pride. On the same topic of social media, it's hard because there's a lot of communication, but it's not face-to-face. If somebody is pursuing you, their actions should directly reflect their words. One main point I wanted to talk about today is that you need to follow someone's patterns. A person's patterns will tell you a lot about themselves that their words won't. And that doesn't just go for dating, that goes for relationships as well. I wanted to talk about labels and the different stages of dating. The talking stage. I am going to hold your hand while I say this. We are not 12 anymore. Talking culture is so toxic. Dating has a couple meanings. If you're dating somebody, it's a more sophisticated way of saying we're in the talking stage or we're in a situationship. Both of those terms need to go to the garbage because you're either dating in a relationship or you're not at all. If you're dating somebody, you're going on dates and you're actively pursuing someone, being your boyfriend and girlfriend is a committed relationship. In my personal experience, I have been the fixer-upper. I tend to see a lot of potential in someone, but they're not actively showing me who they are and who they can become. The person you are pursuing should want to better themselves for you. If you're a Megan Moroney fan, Megan Moroney has a song called Fix You Too, and she talks about how she has her check engine lights on. Dishwasher shakes the whole house. She has so many of these issues of her own that she doesn't want to add you on top of it and have to add you to the list of things she needs to fix. I have one dating story that I was seeing this guy and the way it ended completely changed my perspective in the way I view dating. This isn't entitlement, but somebody should earn their position in your life. It sounds like entitlement, but it's actually confidence. At the very beginning of this time I started dating this guy, it was rainbows and butterflies until it wasn't. He just had crossed boundaries that I wasn't ready to be crossed. I ended up escorting him out of my house and had to call him an Uber. I didn't talk to him for about a week and I had blocked him on everything. He had made a new number and reached out to me because he wanted to apologize in person and not just on a voicemail, which I really respected, and I do believe in second chances, but I wasn't ready to give this guy one. Today's LOL is about one of my best friend's weddings. She just got married this past May. Her maid of honor and her husband's best man were exes. The bride and groom had connected the maid of honor and the best man to date. It didn't go as planned, and so in the maid of honor speech, she says, and I quote, "These two are a match made in heaven, but don't let them be your matchmaker and don't let them play Cupid for you." When I tell you this entire wedding was in hysterics laughing about this. It was a pretty small wedding. There was about 35 people, 37 including the bride and groom, and everybody knew that they were exes. Everybody knew what she was talking about, and it was the funniest thing we had ever heard. We still talk about it to this day. The bride of that story, her name is Cadence. I asked her some questions because I really look up to her and her relationship with her husband. I asked her for her opinion and what she thought I should talk about today. She says, when you know, you know. If you have to ask what you are nothing. If that question even pops up in your mind, they are not validating you enough for you to know that you are something with them. Confusion is often clarity. There's a big difference between somebody making room for you in their lives or somebody just fitting you in. If somebody's only reaching out to you when it's convenient for them, you're not a priority. You're just an option. The right person won't make you question your self-worth. They'll recognize it and they'll validate it. The healthiest relationships aren't confusing. They're abundantly clear. At the end of the day, the right person won't leave you constantly wondering where you stand, because love doesn't grow in confusion. It grows in clarity, communication, and commitment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in episode 4. Bye.